Their repertoire has included funk, pop, disco, jazz, country, and so many other types of genres of music. One of the most amazing groups to come out of American music, Miss Anita Pointer of the Pointer Sisters. Anita, how are we today?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Just wonderful now that I'm speaking to you, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, as a child growing up there in West Oakland, what kind of music really inspired you at an early age?
Well, gospel music was really gospel music and country music, and what we could hear outside of the house because we weren't allowed to play anything but gospel at home. But we'd find ways to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but gospel was my first influence. It really was.
And I remember reading a story. One of your sisters brought home an Elvis Presley 45, and your mom actually kind of liked it?
Yeah, Mom, she heard that crying in the chapel. And she, with the word chapel in there, that made it okay,
Right.
She let us keep that record. We played Elvis Presley. That was one of the first records, I guess, we ever had in the house.
I never knew this, Anita, that the Pointer Sisters originally did some backup vocals for Grace Slick and Boss Skaggs and Elvin Bishop.
Oh, yeah, that's how we started. Me and Bonnie and June did the backup singing. We went to Texas, and such a long story. How much time we got? But yeah, we were backup singers. We came back to San Francisco. David Rubinson rescued us from Houston, Texas, and got us back to San Francisco. We started doing backup singing for Elvin Bishop and touring with him, and we toured with Dave Mason, with Taj Mahal, and we did a lot of studio work with different ones around San Francisco, Grace Slick and all those guys, and oh God, it was really a great experience to see the stage from a different perspective, and when I saw that movie the other day, 20 Feet from Stardom, it just captivated me because I know that feeling, being the backup singer and thinking back there, that one of these days people are going to ask for my autograph because I remember thinking that when we would be backstage, with other people, and it was just it was quite a start, and I think I got a lot of good experience of what it, being on the road and handling art employees, and once you've been there, more about how people feel about that position, and you treat them with a little more respect, I think.
And I know you guys were on Atlantic Records, and then you guys moved over to Blue Thumb Records, and how did that all come about?
Well, Atlantic Records, they wanted to just kind of stereotype us. They said, well, the Jacksons are hot, the Honeycombs are hot, we want you guys to sound like them. And we were like, no, we don't want to be an imitation of another group. We knew that wouldn't work. You have to come up with something authentic, you have to come up with something creative. And so we got with David Rubinson. He really believed in us. He really agreed, and he agreed that we did not have to be just like the Honeycombs. And even though we loved the Honeycombs, but we didn't want to be the Honeycombs, so he really stuck his neck out and really put his money, everything on the line to get us out there. It was a harder job than I ever knew even, but since then we've talked, and he let me know just how much it took to get the Pointer Sisters a deal, because nobody thought it would work because it was not in one category. You couldn't really define what we did. We do country, we do jazz, we do R&B. They say you can't do that.
Right.
You have to narrow it down to one category. And lucky for us, David Rubinson agreed with us. And he promoted it, he did everything he could to get us known and out there, and it worked.
Absolutely, it worked in many, many different ways, and even on the second album, Anita, that's a plenty. I mean, that album has some jazz influences on it, and out throughout the 1970s. I mean, the Pointer Sisters were absolutely unstoppable, and then towards the 1980s, really came around the height of the success for the group, and the Special Things album was released, which is one of my personal favorites. And did Tom Snow and Cynthia Well write the hit single "He's So Shy"?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And that's one of my favorite albums, too.
Yeah, I love that album. That's a great one.
Too. It really is great.
And how did you ladies handpick that particular song to record, He's So Shy?
Tom brought that to us. He had worked with us before, and let's see, how did that happen? Good God, it's been so long. He brought it to us, and I think the song was for a guy at first. She's So Shy.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that's what I remember about that song. But I don't know, it just worked with us, and Jim sang the hell out of it, and it still holds up. We sing it every show. People still love hearing that song.
Big thank you to Tom. Good guy, good guy. And in the early 1980s, I mean, Karen Carpenter kind of wanted her lover to quote unquote touch me when we're dancing, and Olivia Newton-John wanted to get physical. But the Pointer Sisters, I mean, made it very, very clear with that slow, sensual, love-making tune, "Slow Hand," and that was actually written by two guys, correct?
Yes, it was John Bettis and Michael Clark. And oh, I wish I had written that song. It's such a great song, and it's country. You know, it's their Nashville writers, and I just had an affinity to that, and I really thought it was beautiful. I was so happy I got to sing it, and it still just touches everyone whenever they hear it in our show.
Yeah, I still get chills when I play that one, Anita.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It should have been number one. Conway Twitty did it after we did it.
Right.
Ours went to number 2 on the country chart.
Mm-hmm.
His went to number 1.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I know ours is better. But, what can I say? It's America.
that's hilarious. And the infectious pop groove on "I'm So Excited" is so amazing. And what was that experience like for you personally? You know, being in the studio and recording that tune. And I mean, you had to have thought to yourself, this is going to be a big hit.
Yes, I did. I thought that. I thought it was a great song. I wrote the lyrics. Me and Trevor. I wrote all the verses, and I came in there and played it, and they loved it. They titled the album "I'm So Excited," and then they didn't release it as a single.
I know. I don't know what.
And I was so I couldn't believe. I'm like, what is going on here? And we had to convince Richard Perry to put that song on the Breakout album. And please don't lose this hit for us. And it ends up being the biggest hit we ever had.
In 1984, the Pointer Sisters won the 1984 Grammy for Best Arrangement for the tune "Automatic." And Ruth sang lead on that particular tune, correct?
Yes, she did. That was such a great. I mean, that's one great thing to contribute to Richard Perry. His tracks, the music, the way he produces is so phenomenal. I think he is one of the best in all the world, and I'm so proud to have had worked with him. We got that song in the Eddie Murphy movie.
Right.
Thank you, Eddie. I love Eddie Murphy, and it was just such a great honor to have, the song Neutron Dance that was in, you were talking about Automatic, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
I mixed little mixed up there. But anyway, Automatic is such a great song. It's just, and the track is so beautiful. It's really wonderful.
How did you guys come up with the concept for the music video for "Jump for My Love"?
Oh, the music video Jump. I'm trying to remember who choreographed that. Was it Kenny Ortega? I think Kenny choreographed Jump. It just made sense to do a kick or a jump or something.
Right.
And it was just fun, and it was such a trip because back then we didn't have stylists. We went out and bought those dresses ourselves for video. We did, and it's like it's just nowadays the girls have everything brought to them, and they loan them clothes, they give them clothes. We didn't have any of that. We had to do our own shopping.
Right.
Get our own stuff together. And we'd have makeup people there and hair people, but, and plus we had good taste, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember growing up here in Los Angeles, the 1984 Summer Olympics were here in Los Angeles, and I remember them using that music video many times.
They sure did. They used it, and it was so wonderful. I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of Eddie Murphy, it's the next one on my list. I absolutely remember Neutron Dance being featured in that great movie, and it wasn't necessarily written for the movie, but tell me the story behind Neutron Dance.
I was kind of afraid of that song at first because of the word neutron. I thought of bombs.
Oh, okay.
And it was during, I don't know which war it was, but anyway, I was kind of afraid of that song, thinking that it was, glorifying war or something like that. But, I'm just doing a neutron dance, and, like neutron bomb.
Right.
But it worked. For some strange reason, it was just the driving gospel track and Ruthie's vocal and the energy in that song. It just made it a happy song. It was not about war. It was not about anything to do with war. And it just made it a really happy song, and Chevrolet gave us cars.
Yeah. I love it. Absolutely.
Allie Willis, I'm sure she got one too. She wrote the song.
Anita, what are you ladies working on today?
Well, we're on the road a lot right now, and we're looking for projects, but nothing's come across that we really want to jump into. Of course, the reality shows, everybody's asking about them. We say, nope. The right thing comes along, we will be glad to do it. So in the meantime, we're on tour. We're leaving. You could see it on our calendar from the Pointer Sisters website. We're booked the rest of the year, and so we'll just do that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's fun, we're still traveling the world and having good times and shopping and.
Can't beat a little shopping every once in a while, right?
I gotta squeeze it in there, even when there is no time. We'll find time, even if it's at the airport.
Absolutely.
Duty free, whatever.
That's so funny. So true. And for more information on Anita and the rest of the ladies of the Pointer Sisters, go to thepointersisters.com. Miss Anita Pointer of the Pointer Sisters, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, JJ. It was my pleasure.